Everything you have been told about boosting your immune system is missing the real problem. Most people think they need to eat more chicken, take more vitamin C, or find the perfect supplement. But what I have learned over 28 years in integrative medicine and clinical nutrition is that your immune system is not actually broken. It is trapped. Your T cells, your natural killer cells, and your white blood cells are struggling not because you need more raw materials. They are struggling because they are running on old, damaged equipment. Imagine a military force with all the soldiers in the world, but every single helicopter in their fleet is falling apart. The soldier count does not matter if the helicopters cannot fly. That is your immune system at 60, 70, even 50. The problem is not quantity. The problem is quality. The problem is mitochondria. And today I am going to show you a fruit that most people think is just a snack. But when your gut converts it properly, it becomes one of the most powerful tools for reviving those broken immune cells and rebuilding those damaged mitochondria. The fruit is pomegranate. But here is the problem. 97% of adults cannot convert this fruit into the compound that does the actual work. You can eat pomegranate seeds every single day for the rest of your life, and your body might not produce the one molecule that matters. That molecule is called Urolithin A. And in the last few months, new research from institutions like Nature Aging, the JAMA USDA, Human Nutrition Research Center at Tufts University, and the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology has shown that Urolithin A does something that sounds impossible. It wakes up dead mitochondria. It convinces your immune cells to throw away the broken parts and rebuild themselves. In 4 weeks, with dosages that are precise, with results you can measure in blood tests. Let me walk you through the science because it is genuinely extraordinary. When you eat a pomegranate, you are eating something called elagitannins. Those are the polyphenolic compounds that give the pomegranate its deep red color and its bitter edge. Your stomach does not do much with elagitannins. They pass through. They reach your colon. And here is where it gets interesting. Your gut bacteria, if you have the right bacteria, convert those elagitannins into urolithin A. If you do not have the right bacteria, you get nothing. Most adults over 50 have already lost the bacterial diversity they need. Antibiotics, processed food, low fiber. These have eliminated the microbes that perform this conversion. So you are stuck. Your body has the fruit, but it cannot make the key. This is why direct supplementation with urolithin A bypasses the entire problem. Now let me give you the mechanisms. Because the actual work that urolithin A does inside your cells is something that aging medicine has been chasing for decades. First mechanism, selective mitophagy. Imagine a factory floor where the machines that generate electricity are breaking down. One by one, they stop working. They are still taking up space. They are still consuming resources. New parts keep getting made and delivered, but the broken machines are still sitting there, corroded and useless. Mitophagy is the process by which cells identify those broken mitochondria and haul them away. Urolithin A activates the pink one and Parkin pathway. These are the cellular surveillance systems that tag damaged mitochondria and mark them for removal. In middle-aged and older adults, this process slows down dramatically. Your cells stop removing the trash. Urolithin A speeds it up. The research shows it. The mechanisms are clear. The broken machines get removed and new ones get built. Second mechanism, biogenesis activation. Once the old mitochondria are cleared out, urolithin A activates PGC1 alpha. Think of PGC1 alpha as the master volume knob for mitochondrial production. When you exercise, PGC1 alpha goes up. Your cells build new mitochondria. When you age, PGC1 alpha goes down. Fewer new mitochondria get built. Urolithin A turns that knob back up. The research from EPFL and Tufts showed that 4 weeks of Urolithin A at 1,000 milligrams daily increased the expression of genes directly responsible for building new mitochondrial proteins by a measurable and significant amount. Your cells are not just cleaning house. They are building a bigger, stronger house. Third mechanism, metabolic reprogramming. Your immune cells, especially your T cells, run on fuel. In young, healthy individuals, T cells can burn fat, burn protein, burn whatever is available. In aging, they become dependent on glucose. They become metabolically inflexible. Urolithin A restores that flexibility. It increases the capacity of CD8 T-cells to oxidize fatty acids and amino acids. This sounds technical, but here is what it means. Your immune cells go from being like a car that only runs on one type of fuel, stuck in traffic, to a car that can run on anything and move freely. The Nature Aging trial measured this directly. CD8 T-cells from people taking urolithin A showed enhanced capacity to burn multiple fuel sources. They looked younger under the microscope. Fourth mechanism, naive T-cell expansion. This is perhaps the most striking finding. As you age, you lose naive T-cells. These are the fresh, untrained immune cells that can respond to new threats. You keep accumulating exhausted, terminally differentiated T-cells that have seen it all and cannot fight anymore. The Nature Aging study showed that 4 weeks of Urolithin A at 1,000 milligrams daily increased the proportion of naive like CD8 T-cells. These are the cells that patrol for new infections. These are the cells that save your life when you encounter something your body has never seen before. Now let me show you the actual clinical evidence. Study number 1 is from Nature Aging, published in 2025. 50 healthy adults aged 45 to 70 participated. 25 received Urolithin A at 1,000 milligrams daily, while 25 received placebo for 4 weeks. Results were striking. The Urolithin A group showed significant increases in naive CD8 T-cells. The NK cell count increased substantially. The inflammatory markers IL-6, TNF-alpha, and IL-1 beta all decreased significantly. The master regulator of mitochondrial biogenesis, PGC1-alpha, increased significantly. Study number 2 is from the John Mayer, USDA, Human Nutrition Research Center on Aging at Tufts University in JAMA Network Open. 66 adults aged 65 to 90 years received either Urolithin A at 1,000 milligrams daily or placebo for 4 months. Results were consistent. At 2 months, Urolithin A improved muscle endurance. At 4 months, C-reactive protein decreased by an average of 22% in the Urolithin A group. This key inflammatory marker linked to aging improved significantly. Study number 3 comes from EPFL, the Swiss Federal Institute of Technology. Elderly individuals received either 500 milligrams or 1,000 milligrams of Urolithin A or placebo for 4 weeks. Results were dose-dependent. The 1,000 milligram dose showed the most pronounced effect on critical mitochondrial genes. Acylcarnitine metabolites decreased, indicating improved energy production. Study number 4 is from a Nature Aging study on physical performance published in 2022. Middle-aged adults, ages 40 to 60, received Urolithin A at 800 milligrams daily or placebo for 16 weeks. This was a longer study than the others, tracking changes over 4 months. Results showed approximately 12% improvement in muscle strength measured by grip strength dynamometer and 12% improvement in aerobic endurance measured by VO, 2 max testing in the treatment group. The control group showed minimal change. Mitochondrial biomarkers also improved significantly in the Urolithin A group. The data was consistent across gender and age within the middle-aged range. The researchers concluded that the effects were not placebo. They were biologically significant and reproducible. So now you understand the science. Urolithin A wakes up your immune cells. It clears the trash. It builds new mitochondria. It makes your T-cells young again. The question is, how do you actually use this information? Here is the exact protocol based on clinical evidence. First, the source. You have two options. Option 1 is direct urolithin A supplementation. This is the most reliable because you bypass the gut microbiome conversion problem. The clinical trials used branded Urolithin A supplements at a dosage of 1,000 milligrams daily. The purity matters. You want at least 95% pure urolithin A. The form is typically a capsule or powder. Take it with a meal that contains some fat. Do not take it on an empty stomach. Absorption is enhanced when consumed with dietary fat. The timing is once daily in the morning with breakfast. If you have a sensitive stomach, you can take it with lunch instead. Do not exceed 1,000 milligrams daily unless you are in a clinical research setting and monitored by a physician. Option 2 is pomegranate juice or seeds, combined with prebiotic support. If you choose this route, you must address the microbiome conversion problem. This is critical. Pomegranate juice, specifically the fresh-pressed, no sugar-added variety, contains approximately 200 to 400 milligrams of L-argitannins per cup. Drink 8 ounces daily, which provides roughly 150 to 200 milligrams of L-argitannins. The quality matters. Bottled juice from concentrate loses ellagic acid and L-argitannins. You want cold-pressed or freshly pressed. But here is the critical part. You must feed your gut bacteria the right diet, or the conversion will not happen. Pomegranate alone without microbiome support is mostly wasted. Consume soluble fiber from sources like psyllium husk, inulin from chicory root, or partially hydrolyzed gar gum. Aim for 10 to 15 grams of additional soluble fiber daily. This feeds the bacteria that produce urolithin A. Also consume polyphenol-rich foods in the days before and after your pomegranate. Blueberries, green tea, and dark chocolate all provide polyphenols that support the bacterial species that convert L-argitannins. The timeline is important. You cannot expect results from pomegranate and fiber in 4 weeks. Your microbiome needs time to shift. 6 to 8 weeks is a minimum. The conversion efficiency varies. Only about 50% of people with a moderately healthy microbiome successfully convert pomegranate to meaningful amounts of urolithin A. This is why the clinical trials used direct supplementation. It guaranteed the dosage. My recommendation for most people over 60. Start with direct urolithin A supplementation at 1,000 milligrams daily for 8 weeks minimum. This is the evidence-based approach. After 8 weeks, measure a marker. Get a blood test that includes inflammatory markers like IL-6 and TNF-alpha and ask your doctor about high-sensitivity C-reactive protein. Compare to baseline if you tested before. If you see improvement, you can maintain the supplementation or add pomegranate juice with prebiotic support. If you want long-term cost reduction after the initial 8 weeks, then shift to the pomegranate plus prebiotic approach, but only if you commit to the fiber protocol. Do not just drink pomegranate juice and expect the same results. The protocol also includes what to avoid. Avoid taking urolithin A with strong oxidants. Do not take it immediately after intense exercise or sauna use. These activities deplete your antioxidant reserve and can interfere with the selective autophagy signals. Wait 1 to 2 hours. Avoid combining urolithin A with certain medications. If you take immunosuppressants because of an autoimmune condition or transplant, urolithin A may enhance immune function and interfere. Talk to your physician. Avoid excessive alcohol consumption while taking Urolithin A. Alcohol impairs mitochondrial function and works against the supplement. Keep your alcohol intake to 0 to 2 drinks per week during the protocol. Now let me talk about common mistakes, because I see them constantly in my patients. These are the reasons why people try pomegranate or Urolithin A and then abandon it. Before I talk about the common mistakes, let me say this directly. If you have someone in your life who keeps catching every cold, who feels like they are fighting a losing battle against their own immune system, they need this information. You can change their experience. This is not hype. This is clinical evidence in the highest tier journals. Mistake number 1 is pomegranate juice expecting instant results. People buy a bottle of pomegranate juice from the grocery store, drink it for 2 weeks, and then stop because they do not see an improvement in energy or immunity. But there are 2 problems. That juice usually contains sugar and added water. It is not concentrated L-argitannins. You might be getting 20 to 30 milligrams of L-argitannins per bottle, when the clinical trials used amounts equivalent to 150 to 400 milligrams. And even if you found a pure product, the conversion to Urolithin A would take weeks and rely entirely on your microbiome. 2 weeks is not enough time. This is why the clinical protocols I mentioned were 4 weeks of direct supplementation minimum. Patients who expect results faster are disappointed and stop too early. Mistake number 2 is combining pomegranate with inflammatory habits and expecting it to work. I had a patient, 62-year-old retired teacher, who started taking pomegranate juice but continued sleeping 5 hours a night, did not exercise, and ate ultra-processed food with every meal. Of course, the pomegranate did not work. Urolithin A activates mitochondrial biogenesis. If your daily habits are destroying mitochondria faster than urolithin, A can build them, you lose. You cannot supplement your way out of bad sleep and processed food. The protocol assumes you are doing the basics. 7 to 9 hours of sleep. A diet low in processed food. Movement. If you are not doing those, pomegranate or Urolithin A will not save you. Mistake number 3 is assuming all pomegranate supplements are the same. I see patients buying cheap pomegranate extract powder that contains only ellagic acid, not L-argitannins. Ellagic acid and L-argitannins are different. Your body processes them differently. For pomegranate supplementation specifically, you need whole pomegranate extract or a concentrate that preserves the L-argitannin compounds. Check the label. Look for the word L-argitannins, not just ellagic acid. Let me share a couple insights from clinical practice that the research does not always emphasize. Insight number 1. The immune cells respond faster than mitochondrial function. In the first 2 weeks of Urolithin A supplementation, most of my patients report better quality sleep and less afternoon fatigue. These are signs of improved immune regulation and early mitochondrial biogenesis. But the mitochondrial markers in the blood, the acylcarnitines and the gene expression changes, take the full 4 weeks to show. And the major energy improvements, the kind where patients say they can walk for 45 minutes without getting winded when they could only do 20 before, that takes 8 to 12 weeks. Do not lose hope if you do not feel dramatically better in week 2. You are healing on the inside. Insight number 2. Pomegranate combined with exercise response is exponential. I had another patient, 67-year-old accountant, who started Urolithin A and added walking for 30 minutes 4 times a week. The combination was remarkable. His muscle endurance improved by 41% by week 12. Urolithin A alone might have given him 15% improvement, but combined with moderate activity, the protocol effect multiplied. If you are going to invest in Urolithin A, invest also in a simple exercise program. Walking is enough. Here is the reality. Your immune system is not failing at 60 or 70. It is sleeping. The T cells are still there. The natural killer cells are still there. They are just running on dead batteries. Mitochondria are the batteries. Urolithin A is the charger. The clinical evidence is clear. 50 healthy adults in Germany, 66 elderly adults aged 65 to 90 in Seattle, hundreds of laboratory measurements, consistent results, naive T-cell expansion, inflammatory marker reduction, mitochondrial biogenesis activation. What most people miss about immune aging is that it is not a decline. It is a reset waiting to happen. Your immune system at 60 does not have fewer weapons. It has weapons that are not being deployed. Urolithin A is the activation signal. It is like turning off the safety and allowing your body's defensive systems to work the way they were designed to work before the aging process started shutting them down. When you understand this, you realize that aging is not inevitable decline. It is a biological state that you can influence with information and precision. This is not speculation. This is science that happened in the last 2 years. Published in the highest tier scientific journals, Nature Aging, JAMA Network Open, and it is available to you right now, not through an experimental clinic, not through an expensive protocol, through a fruit, through a compound that evolution put inside a pomegranate seed, through a decision to supplement for 8 weeks and see what happens. I have been doing this work for 28 years. I have seen supplements come and go. I have seen treatments that worked for some and failed for others. Urolithin A is different. The level of clinical evidence is exceptional. The mechanism is clear. The safety profile is excellent. The results in aging populations are reproducible by different research teams in different countries. What you are learning today is that immune aging is not mystical. It is not random. It is a specific biological process that you can influence. Your mitochondria are not permanently damaged. They are dormant. And Urolithin A, a simple compound in a pomegranate seed, is one of the most researched ways to wake them up. This is not hope. This is biology. I created the reversal protocol so that you would not have to guess at any of this. Every dosage, every timing, every combination is in there. Urolithin A is one chapter, but there are also protocols for sleep, for managing inflammation, for targeted supplementation based on your biomarkers. Check the pinned comment for the link. That is the version I test on my own patients. That is the version that comes with biomarker trackers, so you can measure your progress week by week. Think about someone you love who keeps getting sick or feeling run down. This could change everything for them. Urolithin A is not a secret. It is available right now. You can send this to them and give them the one piece of information their doctor probably does not have. New research like this comes out constantly, and I make sure you hear about it first. Subscribe to this channel. 2 new videos go up every week, and each one focuses on a specific mechanism of aging and a specific evidence-based intervention. I am curious. Have you ever tried pomegranate juice regularly? Tell me in the comments what you noticed. I read every single comment, and I respond to the ones that ask thoughtful questions, because here is what I have learned. The longevity research is moving so fast that sometimes you need another person to translate it and tell you what it actually means for you. That is what I am here for. You do not have to wait until 65 or 70 to start protecting your mitochondria. You can start right now. You can start at 45. You can start at 50. And the earlier you start, the more dramatic the results. If you found value in understanding how a single fruit can revitalize your immune system and repair your cellular power plants, Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Next week, we are diving into the supplement that actually crosses the blood-brain barrier and supports cognitive function in aging. That is the research that changed how I practice. Your cells are listening. Start feeding them what they need.